we? Here you go. We don't have the best lighting. But I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends, anyway. It's nice to have you here with me. Today, I had like an interesting moment with myself. I meditated this afternoon, and in my meditation, I came to this conclusion, or had this idea, felt this truth revealed to me. And I instantly knew that I wanted to talk about it in stream. Hey, sending you love and back. I was like, I need to talk about this in stream. And then I start almost like trying to make mental notes. I try and make myself remember, kind of thing. And I repeat over and over again what it is I'm supposed to say, or what it is I'm supposed to remember in order to remember what it was I was supposed to remember. And as I'm trying to remember, actively repeating the mantra, I forget it in the midst of that experience. And I was left in the space of like, where did it go? I'm sure I just had something there. Like just. It was right in my hands just now, a second ago. Where did it go? And I ended up almost going deeper into the meditation to the point where I stopped being as active mentally. That happens with my dreams, right? Right? It did have that kind of like dream-esque quality, right? I'm calling it a meditation, but you can call it a nap as well, right? There's a very dedicated set of time. I make sure that I keep it under the time limit, right? Don't want myself to actually properly fall asleep and go into any of my other cycles. And as I was there, I had this thing, and I was like, oh, and then gone. And then I technically fell asleepish, I guess. Woke up, did all the things that I needed to do, came and did the yoga. And even in the yoga, I was like flabbergasted. Like having lost that thing that I wanted to say put me in a place of not knowing what to say. All right. And I find that pretty curious. It left me in a state of quiet, interestingly enough, that I feel part of me appreciates. The way I articulated it in the stream is, or in the yoga, was I feel more present, while at the same time I feel a little bit out of it. Right? Present in the way that it matters, present in the way that I'm here, present in the way that I have less internal dialogue standing in between me and what it is I am experiencing in this moment. I got stung, yeah, stung by a wasp, and the most aggressive of those things create a little mark here. It seems to be callousing over. There we go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Ah, yes. There was definitely something in that thing that I wanted to say about the human experience. It seems to be like that for me, at least. Me and Adam, some of you friends could remember Adam. Me and Adam had this saying where if you find yourself forgetting something that you were actively trying to articulate, or something that you were trying to share with another person, right? The reason you forget is because it's forbidden wisdom. Top secret knowledge, not for ordinary ears to hear, not even for your own sometimes. Memory. Memory in our brains definitely is something that remains curious to me. All I can hope to do is appreciate my experience as it's unfolding. Allow myself to be present with what is. Accept what isn't. Part of me is still looking, you know. Part of me is still looking for whatever that thing is that I wanted to say. Surely it was a something. Maybe the thing that that thing was supposed to get me to say is realizing that instead of getting so caught up in saying one particular thing to the point where you can't say anything else, cut yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack. I definitely do apply an extra layer of obsession with the value of ideas. Doing a stream every day has been this whole perspective shift, right? Realizing that I am being watched, realizing that I am being perceived, not just watched, and what that perception might be, realizing how that perception shapes me, realizing that as I keep going, who I want to be will become more and more clear to me. But in that process, there is a lot of ego involved, all right? It's almost impossible for there not to be. It's very much a function of the egoic world, I believe. Everything you want to be is an ego's expression because you already are everything kind of vibes, right? Do you remember how the thing you tried to remember made you feel once you came to it? That's a good question, Zhao. What did it make me feel? Rightness? Like a rightness? Like a, yeah. This makes sense. Right? Like that universal truth kind of experience. Like this is something that other people could value as well, kind of thing. I have to leave it be. I'm watching actively a duck land on water. I didn't see him land on the actual water, but I know there's water where he just went to go land. That's cool. Hmm. Allowing ourselves to be present and out of it at the same time. The part of me that I am out of is the part of me that is actively articulating. I did sleep a little bit less last night, so I do feel a little bit like sleepy ippies. But I wonder if that's it. I seem very at peace, right, to myself. Like this dude is shimmying himself up closer and closer to me as he does. Sass. Hi. Hi. Ramazan. It's nice having you here. I see a bunch of new friends just joined. Welcome. It is a pleasure having you here with me today, dear friends. Today we're considering very little, to be completely honest. feel like there's almost some value in just being present with where we are, CUNY and Jace. You know what I mean? You ever take a moment to think about the fact that you exist? You could have not. In fact, if you had to consider the odds of you existing are exceedingly low. And yet still, here you find yourself. Go working, no ganja smoking. Don't tell me what to do, oh. Unless you're paying me, CUNY ball, unless you are paying me, you can't tell me what to do, right? Donates $10,000 into stream. Now go get them. Now go get them. You go get that job, and I'll be like, okay, fine, CUNY, fine. But joke's on you, CUNY. You just paid me $10,000, so I now have the equivalent of a job. Boom. Boom. Why not both is a good question that Joe asks as well. Have you ever considered, have you taken a moment to consider that I actually want a job? Have you thought about that? No? Yeah, how about that? Now take a moment to consider that I live in Africa, South Africa to be exact. 60% of people my age and younger are unemployed, right? Like the 18 to 30 age group, if you will, are having it really rough on this side of the world. So it's not a matter of whether or not I want a job or not. It's more a matter of that there aren't as many. And despite the fact that I have sent my CV to many a place, doesn't necessarily mean I'm any more employed for it. And then there is the in-between that I think most humans find themselves within. I had a whole conversation 2 days ago, I think so, about transitions. About how so many of us are in state of transition in our lives. Things are changing. Things are clearly changing. The age we live in is so very different to the ages that have come before. The ages that our parents grew up in, for example. Right, like they basically were born as computers started to exist. My dad was born, I think, the same year as DARPANET got turned on. I think so. Around that time. Right, so stuff that was still very much almost like obscure, right? Conceptual. Ended up becoming our reality. And now because of all of that stuff, to say it in so many words, we find ourselves here today. Right? Our technology has evolved to the point where I have been given the opportunity to start something of my own. Given the freedom, given the power, given the capabilities. You're living in my dream life, toxic clasher. Well, for what it's worth, I don't believe in separation. So me living your dream life is like, at least in my mind, you living your dream life. Right? Maybe not the experiential you, the you that you think dreams, but the you that dreams all that is has dreamt this as well. And here I find myself. So thank you for dreaming so beautifully, Toxic Clasher. The rain starts to fall. I am mostly undercover. The technology is at the very least. Being present and out of it. Out of my mind and present in my life. Our minds aren't always the nicest of places to be. Such silly little minds we got. Catastrophizing. Believing the worst sometimes. Missing the point completely. That's a big one. Completely missing the point more often than not. What's the point, you might ask? It's not for me to say, but I get to speculate as much as any other person, at least. I do believe that we're here for love. And I don't know if love is an act of the mind. I think the mind can, because of love, conceptualize actions aligned, right? But I don't know if you love with your mind. You do love with a different part of yourself. I want to say you love with your heart, but take that as you may. You do have neurons in your heart, so maybe you do. Hey, there, MeltMore. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Lace. Been thinking about you. That's nice. You're doing all right, friend. Do let us know, Lace. How's life been treating you? What's going on? You mentioned, and maybe that's why Zhao thought about you as well, dealing with some health issues. Is that right? I think that was one of the previous streams you were here. There we go. Yeah. Getting to a point of quiet in yourself. That really is where I am right now. It's like I have been dealing with a lot of inner chatter. And I seem to have more resolve in being present and appreciating the presence that I'm in. It's raining outside right now. It's raining directly next to me. Look at that. That's where I'm sitting, mostly dry. And then rainies, rainies. Some of them are falling on my knee. But I feel so connected. Present, yet out of it. Might have to move a little bit more deep in. Get out of the rain again. I'm doing okay. Lost a lot of weight. Started treatment, kind of weak. I have this constant headache. Can't imagine how hard it must be, Les. You read up about people pairing chemo with fasting. I don't know if you have. Let's see what the literature says. One of my friends started keto. Let's try that again. One of my friends started chemo treatment. Can you tell us what the science says about fasting as a possible help? Move a little bit sideways.
This is a rapidly evolving area of cancer.
Yeah, I know. It's a rapidly evolving area of cancer research. While the results are promising, fasting during chemotherapy is not yet a standard medical recommendation. Take care, dear friend. It was nice having you here. Les, thank you for spending some time with us. To the other friends that are curious, the fasting fractals. It's not yet a standard medical recommendation and does come with risks. Science suggests that fasting may help, but it is highly specific to the type of fasting and the patient's nutritional status. Here's the breakdown. The main theory is that differential stress resistance. Most compelling scientific arguments for fasting is based on how healthy cells differ from cancerous cells. Hey, Evan. It's nice having you. Healthy cells, when you fast, go into survival mode. They stop dividing and they focus on repair instead. Maintenance. They focus on repair and maintenance to save energy. This makes them more resistant to chemotherapy, which targets fast dividing cells. That is definitely the most interesting argument. Yeah, that makes very, very clear sense. When you go into a fasting state, your body also does something that's called autophagy, right? It becomes so energy conscious that not only, as it says, does it stop just rapidly dividing nilly willy because it has all the energy to make mistakes that it wants, it also goes and looks for all of the mistakes, if you will, all of the dead stuff, all of the waste that seems to be unprocessed because it didn't have any urgency to be processed. Suddenly you do. Cancer cells are mutated and forget or forgot how to stop growing. When you fast, they continue trying to divide and grow, but without enough fuel. This puts them under extreme stress. The result, in theory and in animal studies, is that fasting shields healthy cells from chemo's toxicity while leaving cancer cells exposed and vulnerable. Isn't that crazy? Hey, Meltmore. Haven't been here in a while. Present, but out of it is definitely a perfect description of life at the moment. Hope you're doing well. Crimson Skies. You'll have to let me know what your username used to be because everybody got at and their username got changed to something. It's Evan? Crimson? Evan? It's nice to have you here. Arpan days? Let me know if it's from the Arpan days. Thank you for being present. But out of it, here with me, dear friend. At least we have one another to know we're not alone, right? If you were present and out of it, completely alone, right? Present, but out of it in the middle of a forest, not knowing which direction civilization is. could be a little bit more cumbersome. The potential benefits. What I read in the previous bit as well is that I think fasting is going to be anti-cancerous in that way, no matter what, right? Like I think you need to have like a regular fasting kind of regimen where once a month, I do once a week, you fast for me an extended period of time is like 36 hours. So starting the night, fasting the whole next day, eating the next morning of the day after. All right. I'm imagining just these little if potential cancer cells in me just getting routinely starved. No more food for you, little cancer cells. Stop. Why do I have so much? It is me. Technically, your cancer cells are still you. All right, by genetics. Most data comes from animal studies, but there are small human trials, particularly with breast cancer, that suggests the following potential benefits: reduced side effects. Some patients reported fewer gastrointestinal issues, nausea and vomiting, less fatigue, and fewer headaches. There it is, when fasting around chemotherapy infusions. Okay, well, I know you're not here anymore, or at least I assume you're not because you said, take care, dear friends. But I wish you were here because that's exactly what you said you were struggling with, right? The headaches, fewer headaches when fasting around chemotherapy infusions, better efficiency. There is early evidence that fasting might make the chemotherapy work better by sensitizing the cancer cells to the drugs. Protection of blood counts. Some trials suggest that fasting may help prevent the severe drop in white blood cells and platelets often caused by chemo. Very cool. The method is not just not eating. Scientists rarely study starvation. They usually study very specific protocols. Short term fasts is the 24 to 40 to 72-hour range, which usually involves drinking only water around the time of the infusion. So there we go. You fast for 24 hours before, and then you fast for 24 hours after. Or you can fast for 48 hours before, and then 24 hours after. So mindful, concentrated, like little window of fasting. I don't know if you can see that little vervy. It's a type of hummingbird, I think. Am I gonna spot him? Why can't I see him in the shot? There he is. That's the little dude that's making that sound. He's really throwing those sounds in every direction. It's literally raining right now, and he's like singing his little song. Much love to you, dear Kira Verb. Little chitter chatter blackbird. Let's see if I can get a better shot of them with this camera. You can definitely see that little beak. Like in real life, he has a little bit of a red patch underneath his chin. And he has a long little beak, like a hummingbird. You can see that, right? Hello, Burby, making sweet chirpies. We got Angelina here too. Kira Burb, bless you. Joe also loving the little Tweety bird. You like the rain? Or are you complaining about the rain? He seems to be shaking the drops off. And he does seem to be sitting in the rain. Like he could be sitting under some of the brush, right? Or the trees. He could be doing that. He seems to be sitting in the rain on purpose. You doing that on purpose? Are you stoked about that? You like the rain? Or are you calling for someone? Are you in distress? Happy Turkey Day. Oh, it's Turkey Day? Whoa, this thing is still zoomed in. Usually it zooms out when you hit the buttons. It is Turkey Day, Thursday. Little Burby is still somewhere in the back there. Angelina coming in all caps. The Burby was so cute, right? The cutest. So cuteums. Cutie patooties. It's nice to have you friends here with me. I feel like I have shown up, shared the fractal of being present but out of it. Realizing that I cannot be harmed. That which you are is kind of untouchable. It just went to another little sticky. I haven't really seen those little Burbies vocalize ever in my life. I usually see them frequenting the flowers, especially those little fireworky purple ones in the background. They eat the nectar out of them. But this one seems to be singing his little song. There are some burbs chilling on that tree there as well. You notice you can see them there. They do not seem happy. Oh, it's Indian mynas. Those are some Indian mynas. That might be, no. No, part of me thought that that little one might have been screaming about them. All caps, the universal way to say through text. I'm yelling. That Burby was so cute. Like, yeah, chillax. Relax here for my happy Turkey Day, ma'am. Sam, it's nice having you here with us too. Now, this world is getting so much water. More water, I think, than it's gotten in a long time. It is nice just to stare at the rain as it falls, huh? Maybe I can give you a little bit of the mountains too. That's a lot of zoom. Zoom. Yeah. Okay, let me try it like this. See, the mountain is just getting completely watered. Seth's first holiday season. He's gonna be trying new food for the first time. That is so wholesome. You're right, Joe. That is gonna happen. Little baby's gonna get to eat some. Is it green bean casserole, Joe? That you said you liked, right? Gonna get some green bean casserole. First time he's getting turkey, maybe. Uh, maybe he's eating some. You eat kinds of pies, right? Pies kind of a thing. Little dude's going to get a whole experience of life. So much depth to have. Maybe his grandma's making sweet potatoes, something nice. But it sounds like he's gonna be way too loaded with sugar and crap for me to justify giving it to him. I mean, you can let him taste it. Let him taste it. Give it to him like pudding, right? Like if you finish your turkey, which is better for you, makes you good, grow big and strong, then you can try a taste of, the pumpkin stuff, pumpkin marshmallows or whatever, Incentivize. Don't restrict, because if you restrict, you'll just almost like create the need. It's so accessible these days, and it is the most powerful drug technically. I'm very grateful that my parents, when I grew up, they would let me try sips of their alcohol. And I am, of course, very, at this point in my life, against alcohol consumption. And it is appalling to even let a child taste a sip of it. However, because of the times, and it's still legal and it's still socially acceptable in our era, I never felt very attached to it, right? Because I had my parents at least mildly expose me to it. So when the time came that I could consume without restriction, I never did, because it just felt very wasteful, is the word that my mind articulated. It would be wasteful. I'd rather do anything else. For some more data on the whole fasting and fighting cancer thing, it is a little bit hectic, but it is one of those things that can be present and out of it, right? Out of sync with the rest of your body, kind of thing. We're having dinner at dinner time, which means his bedtime is right around that corner. His other grandma tried that shit the other day. Sorry, Brenda, I'm not giving him pie at 7:30 at night. Yeah, that would be ill-advised. It's true. Little kiddos need to go to sleep. Grandparents are having to deal with the results of their actions. My parents are the same way with my nephews. Yeah. Siobhan, thank you for asking. Luckily, I healed relatively quickly. Hands are good. I'll be climbing trees again after today. Hoopty hoops. Nope. That is Mr. Raccoons. I'm happy that you're feeling better already, Brother Bear. Like, break your finger breaking. That was the one that really like messed with me a little bit to just think about. I'm happy that you're feeling better, bro. I've been fasting in preparation for Turkey Day. Look at you. Jovan, I think, had a fast as well, just just now, in the midst of Turkey Day, or in a way, in the preparation of it as well, after some uh, friendsgiving, friendsgiving, meetups. There's some more fractals that goes short-term fasting. We're talking about how fasting can help for fighting cancer. Then there's also fasting mimicking diets. Because water only fasting can be hard for some people, researchers develop diets that mimic fasting. They're very low calorie, low protein, plant based meal plans taken for a few days around treatment. Yeah, for me, those are harder than actual fasting, I find personally. The major risks and why caution is needed. There can be weight loss. Many cancer patients already struggle to keep weight on. Losing muscle mass is a major predictor of poor outcomes in cancer treatments. Fasting can accelerate dangerous weight loss. True. But I can also imagine, right, like there's like an outweighing. If you kill the cancer faster because of the fasting, you won't have to, right, fight the cancer as much losing weight. Trade-offs. Then there can be malnutrition. Chemo bodies need protein to repair tissues. Restricting nutrition can hinder recovery between rounds. Also true. I think there will, of course, be mindfulness right around that too, where if you're in an eating state, you make sure you actually feed yourself wholesome calories. You make sure your food is nutritionally dense. Get everything that you need. Melty, in reflection, I have realized cockatoo bites are way worse than pit bull bites. Yo, that is a wild thing to come to the conclusion of. But I believe you. The one, the one has like a lot of little nobules that can go into your skin, right? And it can come down hard. It's true, but at least that force is somewhat distributed, right? Versus getting like really bit by a cockatoo is like having a pair of like wire shears almost like pinching down on your finger, right? That's the way I was saying. It's like a pair of wire shears. It's like, oh my goodness, can confirm. I had a cockatoo. I loved him so, but goodness, that little guy was powerful. Wild, absolutely bonkers. Yeah, because it's like being bit by a combination stapler slash hole puncher. I love how me and Sam were on the same frequency of like, yeah, that's one is like getting bit by an animal, the other is like getting bit by get by this piece of equipment, a tool, a tool for destroying things, making holes and stuff. I would know. We had a green cheek Connor who exclusively only hated me. Oh, that's. I don't mean to laugh, but it is funny. Oh yeah, Adam. Adam has a story of the bird they had hating him his whole life, and then he came back from college, having found cytrons and that scene of the world, and playing the bird cytrons. The bird freaking started busting down. Was like, whoa, whoa, what are those sounds? And Joe sent me a video of Zober kind of like busting down to some of the songs that I was dancing to as well. I just heard a quiffle. We're really getting a lot of the bird life today. One more big quay. Wonder if some. That did sound like a little bit of a complaint quay. It's like, brah, the rain, brow. I never would have learned that lesson unless I experienced both of those experiences in the same time frame. It was a hard lesson, but another piece of valuable info. Very admirable, you integrating these teachings the way you are, bro. Getting bit by a pit bull and a cockatoo in the same weekend would freaking turn me into a recluse. Lock myself in my room. I'm not going out there again. A world stage. All quiz sound like they're whining and complaining. Oh, they look so sweet with their big eyes and fluffy feathers, and they do keep grudges and pick favorites. They dance and talk, and they bite. All quiz sounds like they're complaining. Yeah. What a world. What a world we live in. I'm happy to live in this world with you, friends. I'm happy to be present in this world with you, friends, even if I'm sometimes a little bit out of it. That was a Indian miner. Those are his sounds. Or, yeah. Some tarantala in the background too. Okay. One more quick. No big quest. I saw a picture of a mountain lion holding its mouth open to scent the air while he was making eye contact with a human. And this thing, it looked like he was pouting over a lost toy instead of wondering what Karen tastes like when you don't bother to make a muse bouche of their dog fur. Uh, I didn't see that one. I saw a video recently, or was it yeah, I saw a video recently of a guy that was hiking a mountain with his dogs, and then he stops and he starts taking a video, and then as he pans, at some point he stops on the video, and you just see this mountain lion tucked away. It's just like eyes like lasered onto him, but the camouflage is so good that it's barely noticeable in that brush. It's like, oh, you probably have, depending on which environments you frequented, walked past creatures. They just camouflaged and sat so still that you didn't even notice. Instead of, love you all dearly, I have to clean and cook and prepare the house for guests to come and mess it all up again. Thank you for keeping a clean space so that your guests have a mess to make. Very wholesome of you. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me too. I'm going to show you a flower. Show you some flower, read you some poem, say you some goodbye. Big hugs and shiny fruit to you too, our dear hoopty hoops. No, why am I linking a hoops? I think it's the ooze. The coons ooze are messing with my bruins. Jaju. Our Jopo. Jaju. Helpful tip. Do some dishes intermittently or delegate the task while you cook. Ahead of the cleanup game. Look at that. Yeah, Joe is smart. You can just like be all light about it. Be like, hey, can you do this for me? And then people rarely say no. You can make it fun. You can play some music if you need to. put things together again. What's that? Hard eyes. Where's the boom? Staying for this flower. It's pretty great. I do like this one as well. Okay. Now, what went alongside it? That is the question. Yes, Jovan, I will be cleaning all day. Love is true. It's nice getting your heart touched when you do so. All right. The astonishing being I call myself. It is a little bit of an egocentric one. Could be, at least. However, I do finish it by reminding us that the myself, every one of us calls myself something, right? I am myself as you are yourself, but you say myself the same way I say myself. You know what I mean? Melty, I like that one a lot. It is a good one, bro. I'll agree with you. This one turned out extra crisp. Like, especially those nobules. I don't know if that's something that you also like really, really like. But like those, bro. Hot damn. Those are some shapy shapies. Each of these will have a home one day. Right. Why is this one hiding from me? Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, don't you be hiding from me. Oh. Hey. Okay. It's time for me to read you something. Looks like a face. See some faces in there. Yeah. That entity right there definitely has a face to it. Little monster that lives in the flowers. Just like a hoja. The triangle shaped ones are neat. They do turn out very particularly. Right. Since I do them 1 to 10, there's all of my 3 ones in a row. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah. Tism. Okay, let me bring myself to Patreon. He has 3 eyes, and inevitably will use at least 2 at a time to look at boobs while he focuses the third on you. Do the I don't know if those entities care about boobs that much, Sam. Do they? If they care about boobs, they'll care about it for like an instant, right? There'll be boobs and then they won't be boobs anymore. Then it will be something else again. Like, why? I want a quilt like that. I'm definitely going to make them at some point. I'm going to find someone who can make them high quality enough in the metrics of longevity and print definition. And they will be available. Those entities care about mind boobs. Yes, exactly. Joe's right. Get on our level. Body boobs, mind boobs. Those are the real sexy ones. I don't know if those entities care about boobs that much. Boobs is more filler for whatever they desire. Maybe it's young. No, please. Left socks or marmalade. I don't know. They want to see. They just want to see something. Usually, I notice. Doesn't really matter to them what they see. Seeing something at all is novel. right? And that novelty adds to the infinity that we all are. And there is a certain je ne sais quoi, certain element of pride that we take in being the first to experience something, even if we're experiencing it for the first time from our own perspective. The astonishing being I call myself. Where are you at? This is South Africa. Welcome. Sit down, we're going to read a poem, right? And you should read this poem or listen to this poem like it's being said about you. That's the intention behind it. Sometimes I pause mid breath, mid step, mid thought, and realization hits with the force of something ancient. I am a miracle in motion. This body, this shimmering architecture of pulse and will, dances before I even ask it to. It hears a rhythm and answers with movement, and if joy were not learned but inherited, my breath gathers the invisible and turns it into life. My mouth holds the genius to turn the world into nourishment. My skin carries stories of sunlight that it translated into warmth and blemishes alike. My heart, brave and unreasonable, chooses love again and again, knowing it could break, knowing it could bloom, knowing both are worth the risk. What a beautiful, dangerous gift it is to feel this much. We were never shaped for smallness, we were shaped to sense the world fully, to let awe strike us clean, to step towards experience as if it were calling us by name. To be human is to gamble with tenderness and win something sacred every single time. So today I stand inside myself with reverence, breath held like a hymn, spine lit with purpose, heart wide open and unafraid of its own power. This is what I remember. I am built from courage. I am wired for wonder. I am designed to feel, to love, to become. And in this moment, in this soft, impossible love, I understand the truth of it. What an extraordinary thing it is to be here, alive enough to be awed by our oneness. Present, but out of it. Being one with everything leaves you disconnected from what you used to be. The you think you are is such a small part of the everything that you actually are that it's like a thin scratch on the paint of the outside of the spaceship that's already traveling at interdimensional speeds towards different realities. All right, your problem solving skills, your conception of what's important or not is so much more vast than the scratch on the paint on the outside of this thing you're in. All right? Remembering is hard. We are a species with amnesia. We forget. I'm curious to notice how digital remembrance will change me. If I actually have the ability to perfectly remember everything, not infinite memory, but perfect recall at the very least. Huh, little kitty kitty? Do you want to be able to perfectly recall everything? Little kitty kitty is like, nah, bruh. All I need to be is present. Stop being so out of it, Kitty says to Melt. Don't you come and sass me. I'm talking to myself. Love is true. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me. It is a pleasure to share this space, to have some conversations with you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Hey, Darren was here. Take care, everyone. Take care, Darren. I'll see you, friends, again soon, okay? Tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Loves you. Hey, it's Darren. Show blessing Darren with some love and still. Goodbye for now, dear friends. I'll see you again tomorrow.